Yokoso, yokoso, yokoso. Welcome, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Stadia Monday Night Chat. With me, your host, Clive Illenden, of course. Join me in emergency surgery as we apply the defibrillator to this week's Stadia news, views, and opinions. Clear! So, special welcome to all of you watching the premiere. It's always great to interact with you in the chat and say hi in the chat there. Join me there for discussions on all of the hot topics of the week. Let me know what games you've been playing, of course. Share it with others. Just get the communication going in chat, ladies and gentlemen. Any questions that you may have, of course, and all that stuff, put it in the chat. And if you're new here and this is your first time, well, hello. Hello, guten Tag, moshi moshi. Hello, welcome, and thank you for joining us here on the Stadia Monday Night Chat, the only Stadia show that will inform, educate, and entertain you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh yes, that's what we try to do here on the Stadia Monday Night Chat every week. And in a packed show tonight, ladies and gentlemen, an absolute bumper of a show tonight, we'll take a deep dive on all of the news, the new game announcements, exciting games that look like they're coming to Stadia, another episode at home with the Stadians, and much, much more. And yes, I will be unpacking the big Stadia news of the week, its impact, with a kind of cool, analytical approach that you expect of me, with a sprinkling of rant, maybe a little sprinkling of rant. No knee-jerk reactions. No final proclamations. This is it. The end. Those sort of proclamations that are made with no thought. No giant assumption leaps. No jumping on bandwagons. No clickbaity stuff. None of that. You want answers? I have them for you, ladies and gentlemen. I have them. But before all of that, ladies and gentlemen, would you do me the kind favour of hitting the like button right now? Could everybody just hit the like button? Because I like it, YouTube likes it, and it helps people like you find content like this. And if you're on you, of course, consider subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with stuff like this and you don't miss out when I publish these sort of videos. Especially videos just like this every Monday night, Stadia Monday Night Chat, 10 p.m. UTC. Now, I did record a show last week, but as soon as I'd finished recording it, the press release, we're going to call it the press release from Phil Harrison went out. And so it made much of the show feel a bit redundant. I mean, the biggest news of the week, and my show didn't mention it. But as many of you will have seen, I jumped on a podcast with Nancy from Duncan from Cloudy with a Chance of Games to sort of discuss the sort of first reactions, as many people did, discussed it within the community. Lots of thoughts were had, lots of conversations. So I feel it's worth catching up on some of the news that I did miss last week, and especially the February Pro games, which of course were released. Have you played them? Have you played the February Pro games? What do you think of them? Now, I've looked at them all. I mean, obviously, Pro games came out. It's as soon as Pro games come out, it's kind of claim, you know. And for me, Journey to the Savage Planet is obviously the standout title. Needless to say, for a Stadia Games and Entertainment title, Stadia Games and Entertainment, it's in 4K, 60 frames per second. It looks great, and you know, it's really funny. I've really enjoyed playing it. I did do a stream over it. Well, Lord Kensal did a stream of it. Enter the Gungeon. Now, I know a lot of people like these sort of run and gun style games, and I'll be honest with you, it's not for me. I did give it a go. I mean, I loved Shapes and Beats. Don't get me wrong. I like that. That seemed to work. It seemed much more flat to me. But I did give it a go, but it just wasn't pulling me in. I haven't written it off. I'll still go back because people say it's worth that investment, but didn't pull me in. As far as the Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light, again, I'm not a massive fan of this style of Lara Croft. That asymmetrical top-down style. I love the main Lara Croft titles. And I think they're some of the best titles on Stadia. They really show off Stadia. I've always loved Lara Croft titles, the big ones. Graphically, they look amazing. I did try the Osiris one, Temple of Osiris one. And although I had fun initially, again, it wasn't really my sort of game. It wasn't grabbing me. But as I say, I may give this new one a go. But the thing is, you see, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Here is the thing. So many pro games that have been claimed and so many games that I've bought, I sort of have the luxury now of deciding what games not to play. It always strikes me odd when people say, the Stadia game library is a bit sparse. But maybe it was, but it's not now. I think really there's a finite amount of games you can actually play at any one time. You can lose yourself in a good game for weeks. I mean, I certainly can. I played Minecraft like non-stop. Literally, some days when I had the house to myself at weekends, like literally get up in the morning, Minecraft, lunch, a meal replacement, Minecraft, 3 o'clock in the morning, better go to bed. Same thing next day, like obsessed. Same with Overwatch, Sea of Thieves. I grinded Sea of Thieves for a year to make sure I became Pirate Legend before the first year was out. I did, of course. Thank you very much. So as I say, there are plenty of games to get lost in, plenty of games in the Stadia library, especially if you've been pro from day one. There are a lot of games that you would have claimed. And there are plenty more to come, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about that. Plenty more to come. So I've accepted that I don't have to play every pro game, That's gone now. We're through that. I don't even have to like every pro game. And not liking a pro game one particular month doesn't make that bunch of Stadia Pro games that month a load of crap games. It's Stadia Pro this month is shizzle, yeah? To you, maybe. You might not like a game, but there are plenty of people who will like that game. And it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality. So, yeah, we had 3 pro games this month. Yeah, not 6. But those lying bastards, Google, you said you'd give us 1 to 2 games, you bastard. You're lying. Google lied. Yeah. As I say, to date, we have had 69. Yes, 69. All right, stop sniggering. Stop sniggering in the back. Goodness sake. Grow up. As I say, 69 games, pro games have been released. That's roughly 5 games a month, which is pretty impressive, given the first couple of months were only 2 or 3. And you add into the fact that January and February are pretty quiet months generally. But yet, what? Wait, what's that? All that whining and moaning. It's rubbish. That's it. We're only going to get 2 now. We're only getting 3 a month. It's over. We're never getting 6 again. That's it. 1 month is hardly a trend. Give things time before you make bold statements like that. Yeah? Can't judge a whole year by 1 month. Which reminds me, it's time we see what hilarity and fun is going on over at the Stadian household. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, yes. It's another episode of At Home with the Stadians. At Home with the Stadians, episode 2. Let's see. Okay, now remember what I said. 1 to 2 grapes a day, okay? Just 1 to 2 grapes, that's all. Okay. Repeat after me, 1 to 2 grapes. 1 to 2 grapes. Good. And you're going to be a good boy as well, aren't you? Yes, you are, yeah. I'm trusting you now. 1 to 2 grapes a day, okay? Okay. All right. Thinks I'm a fool. That's easy. 1 to 2 grapes a day. Okay. Okay, remember what Mummy said? She said 1 to 2 grapes. So 1, 2. Actually, Let's make it 3. 3 grapes. Hello, darling. Here's your 3 grapes. Actually, let's make it 4, shall we? Shh, don't tell Mummy. You alright, darling? Got your 4 grapes for you today. There's your 4 grapes. Yeah. 5 grapes? Yeah, why not 5? There's your 5 grapes. Enjoy. 6 grapes. I'll tell you what, why don't we have a bonus grape as well? Here's a couple more bonus grapes. There's your 6 and a couple more. You like that, don't you? Here's your 6 grapes. Six grapes. Here, tell you what. Let's make it 8 this week. Yeah, make it 8 today. 8 grapes. Oh yeah, by the way, Mummy's back tomorrow, okay? Good. Daddy? Yeah. I've got your 2 grapes for you. 1, 2. I hate you. Stadia Dad! Fancy that. Stadia baby. What a simple mind. Bless the poor little baby. A simple Pavlovian response type baby. One day, Stadia baby might grow up. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? One day. Anyway, my good cloud gaming friends, my Stadians, let's dash to the newsmobile as we will spin into the Stadia news of last week, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get to it. So this Stadia thingy, I mean, has it got Madden 21? Yeah. Has it got FIFA 21, this Stadium thingy? You know, like Stadia. Has it got FIFA? Has it got Madden? Has it got FIFA? Yes, my demanding little friend, it has, or will have, as of the 21st of March, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, FIFA. Finally, FIFA gets an official launch date on Stadia. It lands on the 21st of March. And yes, if it is anything like the Madden port, we are in for a treat. But Clive, it's too late. It's dead on arrival. It's dead. It's dead on arrival. Oh. Hello, it's you again, is it? Dead on arrival, yeah? Dead. Why is everything dead to you, my friend, you know?
Bring out your dead! Bring out your dead!
It's dead this, it's dead that. Everything's dead. Do you work in a mortuary or something? Jesus. Dead on arrival. Right. Anyway, I've not played FIFA really very much. I've dabbled in it. I was always a Pro Evo player myself. Pro Evo 11. Pro Evolution 11 as it used to be. The proper footballing game. That's what it was. But the bulldozering official FIFA license plus the multi-billion marketing dollars that EA puts behind it makes FIFA the de facto footballing game on consoles and PC and stuff. Dead on arrival. Yeah, all right. If you were a fan, right, that means you probably already have a console or a gaming PC that you play FIFA on. Yeah, so you would have already bought FIFA 21, right? You weren't waiting for it on Stadia anyway. Yeah. So don't moan that it's dead in the water, because it's only dead in the water if you already have it. Yeah. But if you don't have a console, yeah, that you were playing FIFA 20 a little while ago on, yeah, but you want to get into gaming again and you want to play the big games and maybe you used to play FIFA and stuff like that, it's the first time it's on the platform. It's great. The convenience of Stadia is not having to buy a console. And if you've always wanted to play FIFA, well, there you go. 21st of March, knock yourself out. realistically, we know that FIFA 22 is more than likely, no guarantees, but more than likely going to be day and date on with Stadia, yeah, as all the multi-platforms. Give or take a small window, perhaps, yeah. FIFA 21, just as with Madden 21, is just sort of playing catch-up. EA are playing catch-up, but it gives Stadia great credibility. So when people on the Face Boomer ask, is FIFA on Stadia? Can I play FIFA on it? I'm not getting that Stadia unless I can play FIFA on it. Well, yes, you can now, you know. All we need now is Call of Duty and Fortnite and brackets, insert some other game here. And then everybody can shut the fudge up, yeah? We've got all the games. Now, imagine that given that, you know, this is a sort of a bit of a delayed release for FIFA 21, I'm not denying it. It will probably be competitively priced. And it would be really good if we get another free weekend like we did with Madden 21. I'd be hopping on straight away. So let me know if you're looking for that in the chat, looking for FIFA, looking to play FIFA or anything like that. I'd be interested to know. Another game, of course, coming to Stadia, and this is from SEGA, and it's great to see, ladies and gentlemen, great to see. And hopefully it bodes well for other SEGA games, is Judgement, ladies and gentlemen. Judgement. Now, I wasn't familiar with Judgement, with the game, but man, that trailer, ladies and gentlemen, that trailer has me sold. I'm telling you, I love the look. I love the style. So it's a spin-off of the Yakuza series. Why release the spin-off? Why not maybe the main series? Maybe that is coming. Maybe the Yakuza main series. It is currently available, I think, on Xbox Games Pass for now. But maybe after that, maybe we could see it on Stadia. I don't know. Why just have the spin-off? Other than that they're doing a version for it for the next gen consoles, PS5 and Xbox Series X. And there's the thing. This is a remastered version. Originally, it came out in mid-2019 on PS4. And now it's coming to PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and day on date with Stadia in a new revised sort of graphically enhanced version. What I like about this is in the rush to take advantage of the next gen systems, publishers seem to be upgrading previous generation versions of the games and maybe sort of upgrading some of the graphics. And this is a great opportunity for Stadia to incentivize those developers and publishers to do a version for Stadia while they're at it. There are rumors that a next gen version of GTA 5 is in the works later for the year. Could that be another chance to do a Stadia version? Don't know. I think we'll see more and more upgrade games like this, where people are doing a next-gen version of an existing game. We might see it also come to Stadia like this. What's funny to me, or slightly ironic, is that, you know, some people sort of accuse Stadia of having old games. That, you know, that game's old. It came out last year. Why do you want it now? It's an old game. You know, they've been out for a year or so. And yet, that same older game that's been previously released on PlayStation 4, yeah, a reversion of that game is now releasing at the same time on PS5. Oh, it's an old game. Xbox Series X, but it's an old game, Clive, and Stadia in a new enhanced version. So I hope we're going to see more of this, and I hope we're going to see more of Sega, and maybe this is all part of that, you know, part of the money changing hands behind the scenes and stuff. In other announcements, of course, K's gets a release date of 26th of March, so very soon after FIFA, ladies and gentlemen. Those games, they keep coming. They keep coming. Many of you will probably remember this is just one of the games that were part funded through the Stadia Makers program. And is actually going to be launching on multiple platforms. So even sort of Stadia are the main funders of the development of this. It's to sort of encourage and seed developers. And it's good to see that they do this, and this is coming out on multiple platforms. Now, Case is meant to be a true love letter to the 16-bit era that, you know, will move us all back in time to that nostalgic period of playing classic, kind of great classic platforming type games. A bit like Monkey Boy and the Crystal Kingdom, or whatever it was. Anyway, I think I will try this because it's a bit of a platformer, and I'll give it a go, see how I feel. Another title coming to Stadia, ladies and gentlemen, another title is 100 Days. Yeah, 100 Days. Now, the developers tweeted out here that they were happy to announce that hashtag 100 Days will be released on May the 13th on hashtag Steam and hashtag Google. Pop the champagne, blow a thingy. Join us during Steam Game Festival and try out the new demo, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know whether the demo will be available on Stadia. I hope it will. I think that'd be a great opportunity if it is. So here again, debuting at the same time as the PC/Steam version. What's that? What's that? I don't hear any cries of, yeah, but it's not an Xbox. It's not an Xbox. It's not on PlayStation. Only on PC and Stadia. I'm just saying. Just saying, people. See what you want to see. Hear what you want to hear. Say what you want to say. That's what I'm saying. It's good to get some of these games that are specifically, coming to PC, via Steam and stuff like that. It's good to see that they're coming to Stadia, especially sort of these indie type games. And that's the beauty of Stadia that I was thinking about recently. In the Venn diagram of sort of PC games over here and console games here, yeah, there's that lovely section in the middle that you sort of don't get on other platforms, where Stadia can sit. It sits comfortably between the two, between the PC games and the consoles. Whilst it is a virtual console, it gets the best of the sort of PC indie games, and it also gets the best of those sort of console games as well. I think it's lovely. I think it's great. Viva Stadia! Viva Stadia! Anyway, so the game is 100 days. In 100 days, you will have complete control over the process of making your own wine. Yes, it's a wine making game. From the types of vines you wish to grow, how to grow them, when to harvest them, and the whole kind of winemaking process. You'll be able to choose which type of wine you wish to produce, and then which kind of wine you want to sell, depending on the market requirements. I mean, it sounds like a proper sort of business simulator, But the idea behind it is the goal is being to grow and expand your winemaking empire, which makes me think it's a bit like a farming simulator, but for the more sophisticated of us. Yeah, the more sophisticated. It's like farming simulator, but more sophisticated. I don't know, perhaps. Talking of farming simulator, I put farmer simulator here. Talking of farming simulator, it had a free weekend. So anyone give that a go? I already had it on Pro. It got released on Pro yonks ago. I never got the hang of it. Once I'd sort of sown my corn or reaped my corn, didn't know what to do with it. Harvested my corn even. See, I didn't even know the terms. I didn't even know what to do with my corn. I couldn't work out what to do. What would be really good is if this game came with a bottle of wine. Yeah, that'd be good. Preferably not one you've made yourself based on your sort of game experience. Because if my farming simulator experience, my farming simulation experience was anything to go by, it would be an utter vinegary garbage mess, quite frankly, that wine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in other news, under the section filed coming soon, this is the rumor / it's been officially rated by one of the certification boards, in this case, PEGI. So should be coming to Stadia, maybe coming to Stadia, more than likely is coming to Stadia, is Terraria. Say it how you will. Now, this has been rated on PEGI for Stadia. Now, this is big, yeah, in my honest opinion. I don't play it, but I know it is super popular. It's a sort of 2D Minecraft-y type game, if you will. Now, PewDiePie did a series on this about a year ago, and his videos were getting like 10 million views. Now, I know it's PewDiePie, but even so, it was one of his sort of most popular Let's Game kind of series. The game's been around since 2011. I mean, and it's really still popular. And it's great to see that it's potentially, it's coming, don't worry, potentially coming to Stadia. So are we going to see an official announcement soon? Who knows? Let me know if you're familiar with the game, if it's something that you're looking forward to on Stadia. Yeah, so I think it's really great that Terraria, a program that's been around and much respected for a long time, is finally coming to Google Stadia. And
it's me.
What?
From the future.
What would you?
Yeah, it's you from the future. Yeah, it's
what?
Me. Yeah. Anyway, look. Wait. Stop what you're saying.
What?
Check your Twitter. Well, you can't, can you, in the future? I'll
What?
send you the Twitter from the future to the past. Whatever. Anyway,
Was
just
this Marvel's?
check your Twitter, okay? Check your Twitter. It's important. All right. Just
All
didn't
right,
want
I
to
will.
make you look foolish or anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonder what that was all about. Let's have a quick look. Okay. Reads Twitter from the future. Oh dear. Yes. Just hold for a minute on that Terraria news. It seems that we have a tweet here from the co-creator of Terraria, and I'll just put it on the screen for you now. Okay. Oh, that doesn't sound very promising, does it? Actually, I'm being told we can go live now to Andrew Spickman. Andrew Spickman, that's his name, isn't it? I think we can go live now at his headquarters to get an update and a statement from him. Andrew, can you hear me? Okay. Next news. In other news this week, ladies and gentlemen, it was great to see Stadia reaching out to some of the Stadia content creators to show their gratitude towards them by sending them a goodie box of Stadia merch. Very well deserved. Well done, everybody. As week on week, these people put together Stadia content, talking about Stadia, supporting Stadia, etc. And it's nice that those that do weekly Stadia shows, weekly Stadia shows, week in, week out, every week, do a Stadia show. It's good, to see that those people who do a weekly Stadia show for the past year or so, talking about Stadia, every week with loads of subscribers and viewers every week. It's good to see that those content creators are justly rewarded, and it's great to see. It's good to see. So well done, Stadia, for reaching out to the Stadia community and the content creators who do weekly Stadia content. It's good to see. Just excuse me a minute. Right. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let us address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm aware there's an elephant in the room. Yes, literally and figuratively speaking. Yes, the Stadia press release from Phil Harrison.
A warning may come quite unexpectedly. We will now tell you what to do if a warning sounds when you are at home.
Good evening. This is your Stadia emergency broadcasting channel, broadcasting to you live now. Please remain off Twitter and Reddit until further notice. We will inform you when it is safe to resume. Until such time, please keep playing games. Goodbye. That was an emergency broadcast on behalf of the Stadia Emergency Broadcast Channel. So, no doubt you've all read it, You've all read it now. Clearly, given the response of some people, they haven't read it, And maybe they haven't read it in its entirety, or even read it at all, or even read it properly, judging by some of the response. So first of all, no, Stadia is not shutting down. Yeah? Stadia is not dead. And no, Stadia is not dying. And no, it's not the beginning of the end. Now, I could just end the discussion here, because why do people put more validity on random YouTubers or wannabe game journalists than the actual words themselves? Yeah. Claims that Stadia is dead, I can only conclude, is coming from people who, one, can't read, two, can read but are so blinkered that they're kind of following a certain narrative, two, they heard someone say it and it fits their narrative, so yeah, Google's dead, and four, they always hated Stadia. Some people with a specific outlook or narrative in mind have run with it. They've speculated it and filled the void with nonsense. Yeah. And like all sort of Twitter storms and narratives or community storms and stuff like that, it's sort of blowing up in our little tiny community, yeah, and got things in a spiral. And it's not been particularly helpful. And then there are those that are demanding, Stadia make a statement. Stadia need to make a statement that they're not closing down. They need to make a statement that they're not closing down. Or what about my games? They've said it, yeah. Literally, he says in the press release, yeah. You can continue playing all your games on Stadia and Stadia Pro at the beginning and at the end of the press release. They're not closing down. It literally says it. Or did you not read the last paragraph and the first paragraph through your sobbing tears? Yeah. Let me break it down for you, ladies and gentlemen. I'll break it down for you. Let's break it down. It's basically in separate paragraphs, so I'll try and break it down for you. First of all, there's the intro. We stated one, Stadia has a vision, and the bulk of that vision remains unchanged. Two, the success of Cyberpunk on the platform has shown them the way. Three, we're expanding our efforts to help game developers and publishers take advantage of our gaming platform and work hard at making those visions make sense financially and from a business point of view. Four, part of this re-strategy is losing Stadia Games and Entertainment. Unfortunately, that is terrible for those people. Why? And they explain why. Because it's super expensive to make games. So farewell and thanks for all the fish. And that sucks for the employees. And number five, finally, Stadia is not going anywhere. That is the structure of the statement. That is how it's broken down. And also that I want to address those that have said, but Google lied. They're liars. Google are liars. They lied to us. They lied to us, Clive. Google lied. What? What are you? Are you 6 years old? Do you know what the actual definition of lying is? It is to meaningfully deceive or to meaningfully sort of mislead with intent. Are you telling me that Phil Harrison stood on the stage in 2019 and said all of this? I don't know, what shall I tell him? I know, I'll make some stuff up, right? But just, in order to kind of reinforce this stuff he's making up, said of all of this, we've hired Jade Raymond, yeah? We'll hire Sharon Studstill. We spent millions knowing full well they had no intention of following it through. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Think about how ludicrous that is. Yeah, because that's what you're saying. If you're saying Google lied, you're saying that they made all this up all along. It was all a glorious fabrication. Yeah? Hiring Jade Raymond, setting up 2 studios. One in Montreal, one in California, whatever. Spending millions already. And they knew right at that point when they're doing it, it was all a lie. It was all a lie. It was all an illusion. Yeah? Because if you think that Google were lying, that's what you think. And if you cannot think, or see how ridiculous that is, can't help you. Sorry, can't help you. Other than suggest, purchase yourself a dictionary. Yeah? Just check the definition of lying. Yeah? If I say to my kids, I went to my kids last year, hey kids, we're going to go to Disneyland Paris in April. Yeah, Daddy, we love you. You're great. I know. Yeah? And I have full intention of taking them. I've looked up the tickets. I've booked the tickets. All of that. Yeah? I've spent the money. Yeah, we're going. I've told them we're going to Disneyland Paris in April. Yeah. 2019. Yeah. March 2019 comes along. COVID. Shut down. Can't fly. Holidays cancelled. Yeah. Sorry, kids. We can't go to Disneyland Paris. But Daddy, you said we were. You lied. I didn't lie, did I? I didn't lie. Plans change. Things happen. It wasn't a lie. All right, people? Get over yourself. Google did not lie. Okay? Very simple. They merely changed their business strategy, which is very simple. They looked at the data. They are a data company after all. And they decided to focus on what the data was telling them, what was working, what will provide them a better return in their investments. In this big grown-up world we call business, yeah, you don't stick to a plan mindlessly, yeah, if the data and analytics are telling you there might be a slightly better route to stability and long-term profit. If that's what the data is telling you, and they say in the press release, the success of Cyberpunk, with the recent successful launch of Cyberpunk, and the game on Stadia, gameplay on all types of devices, including iOS, growing our slate of YouTube integrations and our global expansions, it's clear that Stadia technology has been proven and works at scale. That's what the data is telling them. Yeah, it's a major blow to the original plans, shutting down the in-house studios. And it sucks for those employees, I've said. Because, you know, and the reason it's a shame as well is because it did show real ambition and stoked excitement in what could be, that first party exclusive. What could Google be working to? Yeah. It really kind of fed into that kind of, what could be? But we don't know what could be. That's the point. We'd never had it. We'd never seen it. We never even got a teaser, a trailer, a hint. There's no guarantee that it would be everything our imaginations imagined it would be. There was an article in The Guardian, partly to do with this, which echoed my thoughts, and it was about Stadia and about Amazon, about buying creativity in the gaming industry, and how all the money in the world can't buy creativity, because many great developers have built up a culture over years and years, and that culture has formed the way that they work and their creativity. And you can't necessarily buy that. Maybe you can, maybe it happens. Maybe you can capture that lightning in a bottle, yeah? Maybe you can. But more than likely, just throwing money at something doesn't necessarily guarantee you creative success. Hello, Amazon, yeah? 2 games costing hundreds of millions. One cancelled, released and then withdrawn and cancelled completely. Another one constantly delayed. Millions, hundreds of millions spent on this. So Amazon have shown, you know, there's no guarantee of success. They thought they had it, yeah? Design a game by committee, by algorithm, by a computer, yeah? No, you need that culture that developers have, the good developers have, that breeds that creativity, that's built up over years and years. There's no guarantee that the game will be actually any good. Even great developers come out with stinky games, yeah? Google clearly decided that the risk return was too great, given the data they were getting back, maybe from, you know, not being quite successful with launching Stadia over the last year. We know they haven't really been, you know, that successful. But also seeing how popular Cyberpunk was and the response Cyberpunk got. Maybe it's better to use those resources in a different way. Yeah, and place that in building Stadia in a better way, rather than carrying on Stadia Games and Entertainment, which was on their overheads. Stadia Games and Entertainment was an overhead, and it was going to be an overhead for at least 5 years, because realistically, that's how long it takes to develop a game of the size and scale that we were all imagined would show off a native cloud game to its full potential. That's not going to come out in 2 years, 3 years necessarily. Maybe they've been working on it already, but it's going to take at least 5 years. So you've got 2 studios, yeah, 2 office locations, 2 lots of staff, all the overheads running that staff, running on your books for 5 years as an overhead without any guarantee of success. And, you know, the accountants out there, the overheads cut into your profit. That's how it works. Whereas if you license out a game, that's an investment. That's different. That's why companies are always cutting back staff in the kind of that horrible way that they do. The first thing they do when they need to kind of cut back on overheads, it's staff and buildings. Because that is the lion's share of your overheads. That's one for the accountants out there, ladies and gentlemen. So it can take years before a game's even released with no guarantee on return on that investment. Hello, Amazon. If the data from the Cyberpunk sales have shown them, wait, maybe it's better to invest in supporting our developer and publisher partners to make sure that they can bring their games to our platform, yeah? Now, this could be in the form of like making sure the tech is easy to use, making sure these developers and publishers are on board with using these tech, even using this tech. Destiny, so Bungie used the tech, not just to port Destiny to Stadia, but during COVID, they used the tech as a way to continue with development for all the platforms. Because of the lack of latency, they could test the game across multiple offices across the world. That's when you're utilizing the cloud and the tools. So if Stadia can get developers doing that, even if they're developing for other platforms, it also means that then the game is more than likely going to come to Stadia. It makes more sense to improve the tools and tech at the back end and at the front to make it easier to get the games on the platform and a better experience for the user, you know, better fidelity, all of that. That is a better investment. And none of this is an overhead. You know, investing in games or, you know, making a small investment in sort of guaranteeing a port or something like that is much more of a direct variable sort of cost investment. Yeah, but Clive, without in-house studios, it just becomes another storefront and nothing else. What? Are you telling me that no one else, right, is ever going to develop a game that will utilize the cloud native capabilities down the years? That's how it should happen organically. Perhaps one of these world-class developers with the years and years of culture that I've talked about and the experience and hits under their belt, maybe they could build a cloud native game that shows off all of this. Yeah, maybe one of those guys come up with an idea and Stadia goes, hey, that's good, we'll book it. And that's not an overhead then, you see. But I think it's much better if it happens organically. A developer gets to grips with the tools of a console and the tech, and it pushes the limits of that tech. And this is what developers do, not necessarily the in-house developers. This is how it happened on PlayStation. This is how it happened on Xbox. Bungie created Halo, not the in-house studio. Bungie created Halo. Xbox then acquired them. Rareworks created some of the best games on the Nintendo 64. GoldenEye, yeah? That wasn't by Nintendo. That was by Rareworks, pushing the boundaries. Sure, once you've established yourself, then maybe you could start doing major in-house work. But even then, I think the risk is better to invest, you know, in another developer doing it. Somebody who's done this, somebody who's got the culture. But you need to get the platform being used by as many people as possible first. And you do that by bringing the games that the next billion gamers want. And the games that the next billion gamers want aren't games they've never heard of. They're the games that they have heard of, that everyone else is playing on their £500 consoles, that until now they couldn't play, but they now can play. What, like stacks on stacks on stacks? No, not on stacks on stacks on stacks, Clive. No. The big games that everyone's heard of. Madden 21, FIFA, Destiny, and yes, Fortnite and Call of Duty and all of that. The big new AAA games being launched this year, coming to Stadia. That is how you get people on the platform. That is how you attract the next billion gamers, not through games they've never heard of. But in order to develop, in order to get developers to develop specific games to the platform, it has to become established. So that you bring the said games. But as I said, you need to get Stadia to as many people as you can. Oh, how are you going to do that? I wonder. How could you possibly get Stadia, which is free, doesn't cost £500, which is free. How can you get it to as many people as possible? I don't know, maybe like on apps and devices that everybody already owns. This is the great selling point of Stadia. Play the games on the devices you already own. I don't know, say like just sitting in your Chrome browser, or on your Android phone, or on your iPhone, or on your Samsung TV, or your LG TV, or your Chromecast with Google TV, or any other TV with Google TV. Interesting fact, LG televisions made up to 28% of all global TV sales in 2020. And which range of TVs will have a Stadia native app in it? LG. Yeah? This is what people forget. You don't need an exclusive game to convince somebody to spend 500 quid. Because everybody's already got Stadia in the countries where it's available. Everybody's got Stadia. We all have Stadia. Even people, well, get this is going to run them up the wrong way. Even people who hate Stadia have Stadia. Dreamcast guy, I hate to break it to you. Dreamcast guy has Stadia. Yong Ye, I hate to break it to you, has Stadia. All those other what's it reports and stuff, not Nerve Report, the other ones, the big YouTubers who down on Stadia. You have Stadia. Do you know what? You know what I don't have? PlayStation, because it costs 500 quid. But how will developers then fully know how to develop and maximize for Stadia? Maybe by Stadia working with their, and I quote, by helping game developers and publishers take advantage of our platform technology and deliver games directly to their players. That's how you help them. You get the technology in with them. That is how. Why won't Stadia tell us if they're closing down, etc.? Because they're not. And they have already told us in the press release. End of. Like I said, read what you want to read, hear what you want to hear, say what you want to say, but the words are clear to me. Let me just quote here. Our goal remains focused on creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners, bringing these experiences to life for people everywhere. Now, I get it. Yes, the announcement's not a good look for Stadia. Why? Because it feeds into that negative narrative that exists about Stadia's Google graveyard and all that. Yeah, and it's always existed around Stadia. That unfortunate negativity that's just existed around Stadia. And we thought we'd seen a turning point in the last few months on that. And it feels like we've gone back to square one because of this. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? A couple of big game announcements and the current impact of this fades away. Do they need to come out and make a statement? Maybe. But then again, if they have stuff planned, which we know they do, then just carry on what you're doing. Yeah? We're due a Connect soon. Just make it business as usual. Talk about what of those 400 games coming over the next 18 months. Yes, people, Stadia is not dead. Stadia is not dying. 400 games coming over the next 18 months. Tell us what they are when you can tell us what they are. And when they can, when you can say when they're being published. 400 games over the next 2 years or so is not to be sniffed at. And my final piece here is, really for people who go, yeah, but without first party exclusive, it just becomes another platform, another service. Why would you choose Stadia? Well, I'll tell you why you choose Stadia, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you very simply. Yeah, sure. You could go with the Amazon Basics version, or, go Amazon Basics if you want, or you could just go with the real McCoy. Yeah. Why would you play Stadia? Because it's on all the devices you already own. It's, in my experience, the best tech, cloud gaming tech there is. That is why. As I say, you could go use your own, go use Amazon brand version of cloud gaming, or use the real deal. It's up to you. You decide. Or both. Because it's free. It's not a decision between spending 500 quid on Xbox or 500 quid on PlayStation. It's the decision between spending, a £5 subscription here or a £0 or £8 subscription here. Big, big difference. You could have both easily. So to summarize from the press release, which is the only real information that we have, ladies and gentlemen. 1. Stadia will not be developing games in-house anymore for the moment. 2. Stadia plan to work closer with gaming partners to bring the best games to Stadia. 3. Stadia will continue to invest in the platform and technology. Their words, ladies and gentlemen. 4. Stadia will continue to bring games to the platform and you can continue to play the games on Stadia Pro, etc., etc. That is it. End of. We were gaming 2 weeks ago on Stadia. We were gaming last week on Stadia. We were gaming this week on Stadia, and we'll be gaming on Stadia next week, and the week after that, and the week after that, and the week after that, etc., etc., etc. So, go off. Don't worry about things. Games will be announced. Play some games. Enjoy yourself. And talking of the Stadia community, ladies and gentlemen, of course, there was the community letter. Did everybody see the Stadia community letter that Avery of Stadia Source put together with lots of signees from various Stadia content creators? So, if you haven't seen this, Avery over at Stadia Source put together a nice letter saying, you know, we support Stadia, we love Stadia, and, you know, loads of people have come together and it's created a lovely community, which it has. Now, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, yes, it read a bit like some kind of hack Mills and Boon writer or a Hallmark movie script, okay? It's a tad cringy. But you know what? Its heart was in the right place. There've been a lot of new friendships have been made because of Stadia. People have started YouTube channels. People have started podcasts. A real community started to form around Stadia and will continue to form around Stadia. And sure, you know, guess what? I hate to break it to you. There are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people who play Stadia that exist outside this community bubble as well, which we forget. We are a small community. But given the year that we've had with COVID and the year that we're still sort of having with COVID in many parts of the world, it's nice to have found a community and, you know, new friends and stuff because we can't go out and socialize in the way that we can. Stadia's given an opportunity for many people to socialize online in a way that they hadn't done before. And so for people in a near permanent lockdown, Stadia's been a kind of blessing in that way. So good on Avery and good on all the signees who signed that. And you know what? The Stadia community managers, the Grace and Chris at Google and all of that, and not just them, other ones, because they tweeted about it, were really touched by that letter. So even if you found it a bit cringy, or you're not your cup of tea, or a bit syrupy, or in a smolchy, and all of that, the point is, it had an impact on people who work at Stadia now that potentially having a right hard time at work. So the sentiments I support and the heart is in the right place. And I know I'm sort of pleased that it sort of reached the likes of Google, Grace at Google and Chris and stuff like that. And it had an effect. All the grumpy gits on Reddit found it cringy and all that. And I'm going like, oh, it's crap, you know, whatever. You know, you're sad people, to be honest. You might have found it cringy, but just try to see that the heart was in the right place. That's all I'd say. Let me know what you think, you know, whether you thought it was total cringe and embarrassment or, you know, not your cup of tea, but you got where they're coming from, or absolutely it was bang on the number. Let me know what you feel. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That is the show for the week. I told you it was a packed show. Oh my God. Thank you for being here for the premiere. Thank you for watching it later if you're watching it later on catch up. Please hit the likes. Hit subscribe if you're new and toggle that notification bell so you know when I go live with this. And even consider becoming a member. Just hit that join button down there. Down there, I think it is. Hit the join number down there. The join button down there. Have a great week. Chill out. Nothing more we can do about that press release. Just wait for news on games. Play the games you already have. Enjoy yourself. Have a wonderful week. And I will see you all here, hopefully. Same time. Same place next week on the Stadia Monday Night Chat. The only place where you will be informed, educated, and entertained. See you next week. Goodbye.